Introducing Archy, Eddie Rickenbacker's first flight over enemy lines. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an in-depth exploration of a pivotal moment in aerial warfare history. Today, we delve into the experiences of Captain Eddie Rickenbacker, America's premier fighter ace of World War I, during his inaugural flight over enemy lines on March 6, 1918. In the early days of March 1908, the pilots of the newly formed 94th Aero Squadron stood poised with anticipation at Villeneuve Aerodrome, approximately 32 kilometers behind the Western Front. Among them was Eddie Rickenbacker, a former race car driver turned aviator, eager to prove himself in the skies above war-torn Europe. Major Raoul Lufberry, the squadron's commanding officer and an esteemed ace with 17 confirmed victories, emerged with momentous news. Lieutenant Rickenbacker, Lieutenant Campbell, Major Lufberry stated succinctly, "Be prepared to depart at 08:15 hours." The selected pilots, Rickenbacker and Lieutenant Douglas Campbell, attempted to mask their excitement and nerves. Their fellow aviators, though hiding their envy, offered camaraderie through light-hearted banter and advice, underscoring the tight-knit bonds within the squadron. The morning of March 6th was crisp and clear, with remnants of a recent snowstorm still visible across the French countryside. Rickenbacker proceeded to the hangar to inspect his aircraft, a Newport 28, the first fighter supplied to the American Expeditionary Forces. Understanding the critical importance of mechanical reliability at altitudes exceeding 4,500 meters, Rickenbacker personally verified the aircraft's readiness. "Henry," Rickenbacker addressed his mechanic, "is number one ready for the mission?" "She's in top condition, sir," Henry assured, tuned and without a scratch. The Newport 28, equipped with a 160 horsepower Gnome monosoupape rotary engine, was capable of reaching speeds up to 198 kilometers per hour and was armed with dual Vickers machine guns. The pilots donned their gear, insulated flight suits, leather helmets, goggles, and scarves. These items were essential not only for protection against the elements, but also for the functionality required in open cockpit combat flying. At precisely 08:15 hours, Major Lufberry's aircraft roared to life and took to the skies. Campbell and Rickenbacker sequentially followed, their engines sputtering before settling into a steady hum. As they ascended, Rickenbacker immediately faced the challenge of maintaining formation. Despite pushing his Newport to its limits, he lagged behind. A gap of even 1,600 meters posed significant risks, especially when approaching enemy territory where mutual support was vital. The once grand city of Reims lay in ruins, a stark reminder of the destructive capacity of modern warfare. The pilots climbed steadily, aiming for an altitude that balanced operational efficiency with the limitations of oxygen deprivation experienced at higher levels. As they neared the front lines, the terrain transformed into a desolate expanse, scarred by years of artillery bombardment. Rickenbacker was struck by the sheer scale of devastation. The pilots had ascended to approximately 4,600 meters, where temperatures could plummet below -20 degrees Celsius. The frigid air, combined with wind chill factors induced by their speed, tested the limits of their physical endurance and the effectiveness of their gear. The high altitude and turbulent air currents began to take a toll on Rickenbacker. The Newport 28, while agile, was also known for its sensitivity to wind gusts, a feature that could induce significant lateral and vertical oscillations. Rickenbacker felt the unsettling onset of air sickness, a condition that could impair cognitive and motor functions. Acknowledging the stigma associated with such a weakness among fighter pilots, he resolved to suppress any sign of discomfort. Without warning, an explosion erupted nearby, followed by the concussive force that rocked his aircraft. The German anti-aircraft artillery, colloquially known as Archy, had zeroed in on their formation. Rickenbacker's aircraft was subjected to the shocks of multiple bursts. Sensing his wingman's distress, Major Lufberry maneuvered his aircraft closer to Rickenbacker's. Through coordinated movements and hand signals, he provided the necessary reassurance and guidance. Rickenbacker began to emulate Lufberry's evasive tactics. By observing and practicing these techniques, Rickenbacker improved his aircraft handling under fire. Gradually, his fear subsided, replaced by a growing confidence in his abilities. The successful navigation through hostile fire marked a turning point for Rickenbacker. He reflected on the technological marvel of aviation, how, in just 15 years since the Wright brothers' first flight, aircraft had evolved into sophisticated machines capable of altering the course of warfare. The prospect of engaging enemy pilots in aerial combat, executing tactical maneuvers, and contributing to the broader war effort fueled his determination. After approximately 90 minutes in the air, fuel considerations necessitated their return to base. As they descended, the landscape transitioned from the desolation of the front to the pastoral serenity of the French countryside. Precision in landing was essential due to the limited dimensions of the airfields and the susceptibility of the Nieuport's delicate landing gear to damage. Upon their return, Rickenbacker and Campbell were met with enthusiasm and curiosity. The mechanics and fellow pilots gathered around, eager for accounts of the mission. Major Lufberry initiated a debriefing. Both pilots admitted that they had not observed any enemy aircraft. This revelation highlighted a significant oversight. Situational awareness is paramount in aerial combat. Further inspection of Rickenbacker's aircraft unveiled tangible evidence of the dangers faced. Shrapnel holes punctured the fabric of the wings and fuselage. Fragments from the anti-aircraft shells had penetrated perilously close to critical control surfaces and the pilot's position. Acknowledging his shortcomings, Rickenbacker committed himself to honing his observational skills and tactical knowledge. He understood that proficiency in aerial combat extended beyond flying mechanics to include astute awareness of the dynamic environment. The events of his first mission solidified Rickenbacker's resolve to excel. Mentorship from veterans like Lufberry proved invaluable. Eddie Rickenbacker's inaugural flight over enemy lines was a defining moment that encapsulated the fears, challenges, and triumphs inherent in the life of a fighter pilot during World War I. His journey from apprehension to confidence reflects the transformative power of facing one's fears directly. His experiences offer enduring lessons on the importance of adaptability, continuous learning, and the courage to confront the unknown, qualities that remain relevant in both military and civilian spheres today.